It is time for another edition of Learn Burn. This is the segment where we each learn something and then teach it to the rest of the panel. I'm starting off and I'm very excited to tell you about camels. Well, really just one specific part of camels. You know them as sort of the ships of the desert, that they can go on forever. They can carry large amounts of weight on their backs. They can go so long without drinking water.
The ships of the desert?
Yes, they are, the ships of the desert. And they're
Did you
also-
just make that up?
No,
Yes,
I didn't actually. I read that somewhere else in my brain. And another thing about camels is that they have very durable mouths. They can eat things you wouldn't even believe, including cactuses with 6-inch points. Take a look. Look at that delicious,
Aww.
Look at that spike, and it's just going in its mouth.
And its gullet.
Look at that.
How?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Brooke.
They're like, how do their lips not get
And
punctured?
no abrasions, look at that.
How does it not stick
And
in their
their
face?
lips are soft.
What are their lips made out
Whoa,
of?
this is creeping me out.
I know.
How?
It's so cool. Look at that, and their gums, and the gums, and those spikes.
Props to this camera person too. That's just
Well,
getting all
so that
the
was
shots.
filmed. That was filmed in Arizona. The guy actually owns both of those camels, and he just wanted to film that because I
ships
think
of
he knew
Arizona?
that it could go viral.
Yeah, fun fact that there used to be a camel corps in America during World War I, I think, and they thought they were going to use these camels extensively, and they imported a bunch of them into the Southwest United States.
Okay, Mister, that should have been your learn burn.
Sorry to hijack your thing, but when I saw that, when you said that camels in Arizona, I was like, oh, that's
Wait, so
why.
how do they do this kingdom?
Yes, I will. I will tell you. So it's because they have these large cone-like structures in their mouth, and well, actually, okay. So camels have a hard palate on the tops of their mouths, and it's like their teeth grind against it. It's a papillae, I believe, or papillae structure. So papillae in camels partially consist of keratin, the same hard material that your fingernails are made of, according to Louis Padilla, the director of animal health at the St. Louis Zoo. The structures, they almost feel like plastic, so it's really hard on like the roofs of their mouths. And healthy papillae or papillae protect the cheek and mouth from scratches and injuries. So it's actually very common in a lot of animals, but camels have particularly dense and hard papillae that have formed in their mouth so that they can basically make the best of any sort of food source that they come across in the desert. And they don't particularly love eating cacti, but if they have to, they can. And that's how they've evolved and created those structures in their mouth.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a camel in real life?
Yes,
At the
I've been
zoo?
to a zoo.
Well, you might be surprised. I've never seen one.
That is surprising.
It is,
Yeah, racist.
All right, what's your?
I wasn't even going there. We're out of control.
But Brooke, I was.
But
I
she was.
going there,
She
so it's
was.
fine.
She's a really bad person.
Oh my God.
Okay, going from camels to something completely different. You guys know how much I love Eminem. This is a fun little story. So apparently Eminem tested Kendrick Lamar to see if he had a ghostwriter. This story was relayed by Ed Sheeran during an interview, and he actually heard the story from Rick Rubin, the executive producer on many different albums. He said that Eminem heard that Kendrick Lamar was the best rapper, and he invited him to the studio to get him on a song. He arrived, and Kendrick came with all his mates, and Eminem said, hey, I just want you in the studio, just you on your own, and then my engineer is gonna come in and then record you doing it, but your mates aren't even allowed in. So once that all happened, he saw that Kendrick wrote his own verse, and he's like, wow, this guy really is the best rapper, thank God.
It was a trick. It was a setup.
It was a trick.
He just wanted to make sure he was as great as he thought he was.
Flew him out to Detroit, Kendrick brought his whole posse, and he was still a little suspicious that like, does he actually write his own music? And then he passed the test.
That's interesting.
Kendrick knew it was a test, right? He
He
kind of
knew,
like got
yeah.
the vibe.
Kendrick did know, and he actually corroborated it in 2014 in a different interview. And he's
That's
like, "Yeah, I knew what was
hilarious.
going on," and I was like, "Okay."
He was like, I got this.
But it makes you wonder. I wonder if that's the first time that Eminem ever did that. I wonder if there's another rapper that probably we won't hear of that didn't pass the test. You know, that would be kind of interesting
that would be
too.
uncomfortable.
Kendrick passed, but what if there's someone else there? You know, Eminem has had a number of features on his work, but there probably are a number of features that never made it on a record.
You think he made the D12 guys all do a little test?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Eminem actually has ghostwritten for a lot of other rappers.
Yeah.
On different songs like
makes sense.
that have like a lot of verses. He'll just like, I'll write your verse for you.
Interesting.
This is, I really like stories like this.
No,
Like
I
maybe
like
this is like what Diplo needs to do with Zed.
Uh,
But would that even work?
What?
Like,
Diplo
just like
doesn't
come
write
in, I want you to,
verses.
not your verse, I want you to write this track.
I thought we wanted less Diplo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no less.
okay,
All right.
No, I like it. I think he's I like his hair.
I know, you think he's cute.
You like Diplo?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Tell us a cute learn burn,
No, I have a
Brooke.
cute learn burn. So Sex and the City turned 20 years old the other day. We are all old, guys. Sex and the City is 20 years old. And in celebration, a group of writers from the show got together and gave kind of this secrets revealed interview to Vanity Fair, right? Mm-hmm. And in it, we learned about a lot of celebrities who almost made the cut on the show, like people that I think you wouldn't believe. And kind of this is what happened. When the show started being successful, they had their pick of anybody they wanted to be on the show. Specifically, Halle Berry came up to them at the Golden Globes and asked to be on the show. Halle Berry asked to be on the show. And they said they would have done anything to make it work, but they had already started shooting. So there was just no way to make it work, but they were bummed. That was something they were bummed about. Justin Timberlake almost made the show.
Okay, when did he? So like the show ended in 2004.
This was like right in, I guess, in the beginning of Justin Timberlake.
Some curly hair Justin Timberlake.
I guess so. But
what were they gonna do?
There was a role for a sailor on an episode, they felt like it. Do you remember that episode? They felt like it was too small of a role for him because it was only 3 lines, and they didn't want to do that to him.
Those are the best types of cameos.
Those are the best, yeah.
Warren Beatty, they wanted him. So this is a crazy story. They had been courting him to play himself on the show as a movie star that one of the girls is attracted to, is into. They've been courting him, and so now they are 2 days before it's filming time for his scene. They have not heard back. They're still trying to get an answer. They haven't locked it in. They see him at a party in LA, Sarah Jessica Parker, a group of writers, other people of the team, and they convince one writer to corner him and get him to do the show, right?
And
the writer goes over and says, Mr. Beatty, I'm mortified. Really hope you would do this. And he looks at her and says, it's never gonna happen. Didn't even take it seriously.
Really?
And got in his car.
Interesting.
But so then it became a joke. Anytime one of them was gonna tell a story that was embarrassing to each other, they would start it with, Mr. Beatty, I'm mortified. But best one that I learned, Alec Baldwin was almost big.
I
could see that.
Yeah,
totally.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like
he looks like the actor that does big.
Warren Beatty and Alec Baldwin do surprise me because I feel like they would have fit with the show so well. If you told me that they were on an episode that never aired, I'd totally believe that.
Halle Berry surprised me for multiple reasons. One, I mean, they only had like 3 black people the whole series run.
Yeah,
so she would have been 4.
I'm guessing you're a big Sex and the City fan.
I am. I don't think it aged well.
No, I haven't watched. I watched all of it when it was running, but I haven't seen it.
But
since.
I do like that, and I think that I like that every group of friends almost could find something about it that reminds them of their life. A lot of groups of friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot. I was saying a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That I think the L Word was my Sex and the City for me. I didn't
Mine
really,
too.
Yeah. Wait, you watched the L Word?
It's one of the best shows Showtime has ever had.
Okay, well that's coming up on the next Learn Burn.
What?
I want to learn everything that Brooke knows about the L Word. We've never talked about this before.
Of course. And then I started watching the real L Word too, just because I was
Me too.
the L Word. What? And I looked up Whitney on Instagram the other day.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into Pop Trigger, another edition of Learn Burn. I'm excited to see what else we will learn on future editions of this. What else we will burn as well.